Mike from Boomba here. Today, we wanted to take a couple of minutes and answer some of the most commonly asked questions that we get on one of our most popular selling items, our blow-off valves and blow-off valve adapters. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining a few things here. I'm going to be explaining the difference between our blow-off valve adapter and our blow-off valve, as well as you may see on our website, we sell adjustable or 50-50 partial recirculation pieces. So I'm going to be explaining differences between the 50-50 pieces and the full vent to atmosphere blow-off valves. So pretty much the difference between our BPVs and BOVs as well. Let's start off high level here as possible. You're going to see our blow-off valve adapters on the left hand side here and our blow-off valve on the right hand side. The adapter is really a spacer. This is to be used with your factory bypass valve that mounts on top of it, and this basically converts your factory bypass valve into a blow-off valve by these holes mounted around the side here. These are only to be used on vehicles that have a electronically controlled bypass valve. So looking at your car, you'll see a plug on the bypass valve. The blow-off valves, on the other hand, you're going to see a vacuum line running to your factory bypass valve, and that's when you'll use this piece. The biggest difference is this is a full replacement for the bypass valve on your vehicle. So if your vehicle is going to use this style of piece, you're going to pretty much remove that factory bypass valve from your vehicle and fully replace it with either a blow-off valve or adjustable bypass valve. Whereas if you have the electronic piece, you're pretty much sandwiching this piece between your turbocharger or charge piping on this side and then the bypass valve itself on this side. The next thing I want to cover in this video is the difference between our full vent to atmosphere pieces and our adjustable 50-50 recirculation pieces. So let's go ahead and swap these around here just to make it a little bit more clear as far as what we're looking at. By taking a look at either of these pieces on my left hand side here, you're going to notice that there are open holes in them, meaning that this piece is going to vent to atmosphere and it's going to make noise. So these are, as we call them, 100% vent to atmosphere. So whenever this valve is open, the vehicle is going to be taking all of that excess air and venting it outside, giving you that blow-off valve noise. On these pieces, however, you're going to notice they're a little bit different. The holes are much smaller and they're actually plugged with screws. On either of these pieces here, you can actually add or remove these screws to adjust the noise. The nice thing about that, being able to add and remove screws, makes this piece European spec friendly. So if your car is in a different country other than North America, you can run these pieces and not have to deal with a check engine light issue that you would commonly get by running something that vents to atmosphere. These pieces are perfectly safe to run for those vehicles. By adding or removing these screws, you're going to be adjusting the volume of the air that is venting. So the more screws you have removed, the louder it's going to be. The more screws you have installed, the quieter it's going to be. So this is perfect for somebody that wants to still have the noise, but not be quite as loud as you'd see with one of these pieces down there. Now, when you do have all of these screw holes plugged, this piece is going to act as a full recirculation bypass valve. So if you have something that uses this style of piece and you want to replace the factory bypass valve with something stronger like this, you can go ahead and run this with all of the screws in. You're going to retain that factory style operation, but with all of the added benefits of a far robust design over the OEM piece. So for this next part of the video here, I'm just going to talk about some commonly asked questions and the best way that we go ahead and answer those questions. Number one question being is that I have a non-US spec car and I want my vehicle to vent to atmosphere. Can I run one of your pieces? Simple response is yes, you can, and you have to run either this, our fully adjustable bypass valve, or our 50-50 recirculation blow-off valve adapter. If you run either of these pieces here, your vehicle may throw a check engine light because it's venting 100%. But with these pieces, it allows you to still retain some recirculation, but also have the vehicle vent to atmosphere. So yes, if you are European spec or some other country spec, you can run either of these pieces. Another question is, do I only need a BOV adapter or do I need to buy something more? My response to that is first you need to figure out what engine is in your vehicle. If the engine that came in your vehicle uses an electronic style bypass valve, you're going to have to use our BOV adapter. The nice thing about that is this is all you need if your car has one of those electronic style bypass valves. You still retain that bypass valve because it mounts on top of here, and this other piece goes in your vehicle, and it essentially converts your bypass valve into a blow-off valve or a partial recirculating valve. If your vehicle comes with a vacuum line going to the factory bypass valve, you're going to want to pick up either of these guys here. And that is all you need. So depending on what engine you have, you're either going to have an electronically controlled bypass valve or vacuum controlled bypass valve, and you're going to replace it according to that piece. So there are no extra pieces needed with either. So if your vehicle uses one that's going to need one of these adapters, that's all you need. And if your vehicle has a piece that's going to require either of these units, that's all you need. So there's no need to ever try to combine these. We have people asking all the time, do I need to buy a blow-off valve adapter and then a blow-off valve? Obviously you can see those don't fit together. That's not something that's going to ever need to be done. We do have everything listed saying what year ranges fit what, but if you do have further questions, always contact us. We can clear it up for you in a second. We always are going to include all necessary hardware to install it in your vehicle, so you're never going to be stuck running to a hardware store to buy extra bolts or extra screws or anything like that. All of these pieces come with what you will need to mount it directly onto your vehicle. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one here. I hope that you guys did learn the difference between our BOV adapters and our blow-off valves. I also hope that I was able to give a good explanation of the difference between something that is partial recirculation and full vent to atmosphere. If you do have any other questions that weren't answered in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below or contact us on any of the other platforms that we're active on. Again, my name is Mike, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.